The best way to make money, the shortest way to make money is to be there for long term. Today, आप किसी को बोलो mutual fund, next statement आएगा सही है. That's what we have created. So the awareness part has been massive in last 10 years. All of us have got experience of 20-25 years, but I think today Gen Z is something that we all want to learn from. So while we have wisdom, but I think they have a lot of intellect.
There are no words for me to explain or express my joy or happiness, whatever. I mean, मेरे को कभी-कभी ऐसे शब्द भी नहीं आ रहे हैं. So people who know me, like, you know, Raju bhai, very difficult कि मेरे को ऐसे शब्द नहीं आते हो. But when you're introducing somebody who at a stature where Manish sir is, I think you're always falling short of words. Somebody who started his career back in 2004, you know, as a very entry-level relationship management manager. From there, you know, becoming the sales and marketing head of Groww Mutual Fund. I think it's a huge accomplishment. It takes a lot to reach where he has reached. And in 20 years ka experience, we are going to try and get as much as we can in this 1 hour. So we are really, really very happy to have you on board with us. I think it's an incredible joy for me. It's an honor for me to actually sit here, you know, right in front of you and talking to you like this. Honestly, I don't think I've done anything in my life to be sitting here and talking to you other than just being on Thinkly and interviewing people. मैंने उससे ज़्यादा कुछ किया नहीं है. And the whole credit goes to Mr. Rajendra Bhatia here. I think, you know, Raju bhai, you've done everything. So like I was, you know, sharing with everybody when we started, कि in the last 10 years in my journey in this industry, wherever I've been in a trouble, and trust me, it's been big troubles. छोटे मोटे तो हम लोग ये होते ही नहीं है, millennials, Gen Z है, हम जाते हैं तो ऐसे बड़े तबाही वाले लोग. And there comes Raju bhai, like with that, you know, Lord Buddha smile, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. And he does that. And with that, you know, I think, sir, you started your career back in
2004. Arthashastra started in 2004.
Sir, उसके पहले
since 99 I'm in this business.
99, sir, I was 9 years old by then. We're still trying to learn what is X and who is X. Right? So what is X to who is X? And now, not thinking about X. That is our journey. So I think, you know, that's what I just want to give a sense of, you know, what the level of knowledge, wisdom we are sitting with today. And trust me, you know, we are going to get into their heads and get as much as out as possible. इनका एक्सपीरियंस है जो हमको सीखना है. विद दैट, यू नो, मनीष सर, जो हमारा ऑडियंस है, द वंस हु लिसन टू अस वेरी रेगुलरली, more Gen Z sort of an audience, and you know these guys, I mean, you know, a very, what do you call, उनको तुरंत पैसा चाहिए, उनको तुरंत रिजल्ट्स चाहिए. You know, you've given 20 years to your career. Raju sir, you've given more than that. I mean, 25 years to, you know, where you are today and where we all look up to you. Like, I mean, this is a joke between me and Rajendra. We call you Pita Maha for us.
Wow.
So, बुरा मत लगाना और उनको भी कुछ मत बोलना. So just talk us through your journey. Na? Because 25 years, 20 years, you've just been at it. It's not been like जो आज Gen Z होता है ना कि. And there was a very nice joke in the middle. Somebody said कि my daughter is doing an MBA. She wants to do an intern, and she's a Gen Z. So of course, she just wants to be a part-time CEO for the next 3 months. कोई internship है तो बता दो. This is what they expect, right? And just talk us through your journey, Manish sir. If you can start first, and then Raju sir.
So thanks, Jinay, for such a generous introduction. I think while you rightly mentioned that all of us have got experience of 20-25 years, but I think today Gen Z is something that we all want to learn from. So while we have wisdom, but I think they have a lot of intellect. So let's learn from their intellect, because when I meet the young people, you know, I meet my own son, the kind of intellect they have, you know, I didn't have during my age. So I think we need to do reverse learning process from the Gen Z. And all of us have been trying to do it in our own way. You know, today there is a lot of work going on in terms of the how Gen Z behaves in various, whether it's investing or in general life. We have seen a big shift. Now, if I look at my experience that I have over last 20 years, I think one thing I can tell you for sure that the last 5 years post-COVID, we have seen a big shift in terms of how this new generation, they have brought in the kind of, you can say, a lot of young investors have come in, thanks to few things that I'll come to later on. And they have come in a big way, be it equity investing, be it mutual fund investing, be it crypto investing, be it Dream 11 investing. So you can imagine the kind of new investors have come, and they have now started enjoying this journey. The only you can see I see a risk today that in last 5 years they have been lucky that all of them have done well.
Okay.
Whether it's equity, whether it's crypto, whether it's you name it, and they have had a lucky ride, one-way ride. They have not seen the tough time. They need to be. We need to ensure that they are ready for that challenge, and that's one thing that I think is very, very important from all of us. That if we think we have wisdom, let's go and ensure that all the intellect that youngster have, they need to be given that advice. That while you have made a lot of money, it's time to be very, very cautious.
Correct.
It's not easy to make money in the way that we have done. And I'll tell you a very interesting quote that I read somewhere. The best way to make money, the shortest way to make money is to be there for long term. The youngster today, and unfortunately, a lot of youngsters today, they look at making money as a shortcut, whether it's crypto, whether it's a lot of other asset class. But let's all get reminded that you can't make money in the short term. If you have made, that's your luck. One day, you'll have to look at investing as a long-term process.
Very true. Very true.
I'll just add one more angle to it. If you look at the population that we have, so India is going through a big shift. Look at the number of, while we are talking about, let's say, new young investor, if I look at the broad numbers, we have got almost 30 crore households in India.
Yes.
Out of 30 crore, roughly 1%, which is around 30 lakh, will fall in the category of investors or family who have more than $1 lakh plus kind of wealth.
Correct.
So roughly 1 crore investors in the country who have more than $1 lakh.
So you are adding financial savings as well as real estate.
Yes. Broadly, their wealth assets. Now, they collectively contribute to 500 lakh crore of total assets in the country,
Wow.
that 1%. Now, when a lot of us, when we look at youngster, when we look at their behavior, and when we look at people who are that 1 crore, you can really see how these people who are today at 1 crore, they have gone through that long process of being in market, spending time, going through that challenging times, seeing all the different bad times, and then creating that kind of wealth. Unfortunately, these young investors, if they have to go through that process, they have to really go through that challenging times. Last part, the difference of behavior, if you see why it's different compared to, let's say, me or compared to Raju bhai. Let's say young investor, they prefer taking higher risk. They prefer investing in a risky asset for two things. One, when I was young, I couldn't take risk because I didn't have so much money. My parents were just having basic money to give me and support me. Today, the young generation, they don't care about it because they have got a lot of money. Their parents have given them everything that they want. So their ability to take risk has gone many times. And that's a fundamental shift, which is not bad. All I'm saying, we need to give them that clarity. And in that process, let me come to my last point of the discussion. I think there are 3 A's which are very important. A, first, awareness. Second, A is access. And third, advice. Now look at first awareness part. Especially since I'm part of MF, I can tell you, mutual fund sahi hai has been the biggest campaign that all of us have seen in this industry. Today, आप किसी को बोलो mutual fund, तो next statement आएगा सही है. That's what we have created. So the awareness part has been massive in last 10 years. It's amazing. So that created the confidence of investors. Millennial young people, they all have started looking at MF as a very serious way of investing. Second part, access. Now, advent of digital technology has made access so easy, which is something that even today we can't fathom. When in fact, I was trying to fill a physical form for some reason and I couldn't do it. Because I had to make payment through checkbook, blah blah. I said, but I don't have checkbook.
Yeah.
So imagine, and then I used to do all the things probably 10 years back.
Absolutely.
But you tell a young investor today that you need to fill this form, you need to give check. He'll say, I'll do anything but this. So access through digital adoption has been massive. So first day awareness, it's extremely good. Access through digital has been the biggest enabler for youngster to come and to be part of this journey. Third part is something that I'm really concerned about is advice. When a lot of investors have come through DIY platform, do it yourself. So we see massive shift on all the digital platforms. They have brought in a lot of customers, a lot of investors, a lot of youngsters. They all love to come on the platform and invest. While it's good, but DIY alone can't take you. You need advice, and that's one area which I think still needs lot of support, lot of hand holding from the industry, from all of us.
ये DIY का ना issue ये है कि they are using the dating apps as DIY any which ways. So for them all these things are.
So मैं आपको डेटा बताता हूँ, सॉरी, इंडिया में कितने एक्टिव इंटरनेट यूजर कितने होंगे? एनी आइडिया?
Roughly 140 crore का population है. Should have at least 60 to 65% or
You're right.
75-80%.
So you're 86 crore to be precise.
Yeah.
Now, number of investors or number of people, not number of people, number of times that someone has done search on Google for investing in a month could be how much?
वो उतना नहीं.
नहीं है. In a month, 1 billion times.
My God.
1 billion times in a month, which means last year, 23, we searched 14 billion times about investing in this country, only in India. Now imagine, the only sad part, again, coming back to DIY part, the most searched thing about mutual fund is best performing mutual fund.
Yes.
That's the saddest part about this whole year. While people want to invest, they want to invest in the best performing fund. And that's something really should worry all of us, because you can't, if you're investing in the best fund, it will go to mean revert in 6 months, 1 year, it will start not doing well. And that's where this whole experience will start becoming bad.
आपका क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा है 99 to 2024? मेरे को लगता है हमने सौरव गांगुली का कैप्टेंसी देखा, राहुल द्रविड़ देखा, अनिल कुंबले, MSD, हाँ, धोनी वाज अ लॉन्ग टाइम, ठीक है, वो लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग,
वो लॉन्ग टर्म
देन कोहली,
फिर आपने कोहली भी देखा.
कोहली भी देखा.
then Shah. So how was the journey? And
I think last 25 years, if you look at broadly investing world, life, I always consider life is a very beautiful journey, and in this journey, money works as the fuel of money is the fuel of life. So
okay.
money is needed. Last 25 years, what we have seen is money earning or creating wealth was a very, very difficult, challenging path. Okay, now it looks very, very easy. So, which again, what we were referring to, it will come to mean reversion will happen. How and when it will happen, only God knows, but it is going to happen. So, in this, I would say in last 25 years, what I have learnt is times change and you need to adapt to the new times. Now, today's young generation, typically, last 5 years or last 7 years, I would say post 2018, we have not seen a downturn, and that be it in all asset classes. So that is somehow something which will surely challenge how it is going to be challenge how young investors are going to look at it. And the biggest part is there is an upsurge of young investors, first-time investors, and on this tech platforms there are so many investors who have come in. And yes, one thing is good that they have tasted success. The important part, like cricket, I consider in cricket test match as something which is very, very near to the life, where you get 2 innings to play, first innings and second innings. So the first innings, yes, in the first few overs we have young people have scored some runs, but in the next it is you have to sustain the entire 5 days.
Yeah.
So in that, how will this thing, and times change. एक session में match change हो जाती है, and we will see that there is going to be a challenge. But the beauty is India has moved very, very rapidly in last 20 years. 20 years back, he was talking about filling up forms. When I started in 99, I had to actually explain what is a mutual fund.
Right.
And that challenge for us when we started was to pitch something with respect to LIC, or GNC was a hot take at that point of time.
Correct.
उसके सामने अगर कोई म्यूचुअल फंड लेके जाओ which did not have any past history, okay, zero past history के सामने आज आप म्यूचुअल फंड लेके आओ, and at the same time, you know, आज लोग सब वो बहुत हम लोग jargons यूज करते हैं इन्फ्लेशन के अगेंस्ट. उस टाइम पे इन्फ्लेशन नाम की चीज ही नहीं थी.
Correct.
और फिक्स्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स यूज्ड टू गिव अस. I have sold Tata fixed deposits or Tata equivalent fixed deposit at 16, 17, 18% growth. यानी 16, 17, 18% returns देने वाली FDs आती थी और इक्विटी का कोई पास्ट इतिहास नहीं था. और उस टाइम पे यू स्टार्ट ऑफरिंग म्यूचुअल फंड्स, एंड टुडे व्हेन वी सी फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट्स आर नॉट गिविंग यू एनीथिंग, इन्फ्लेशन इज shooting through the roof, and you have equity with such great upside. So that is a challenge which youngsters will have to adopt to understand. And yes, the most important part what Manish referred to is educate. How will they educate and adopt to this thing is a good challenge.
Brilliant sir, brilliant. लेकिन ना मैं आपको एक मस्त एक एनेक्डोट देता हूँ. इन्फ्लेशन इन लोगों को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
हम कितना भी बोले इन्फ्लेशन इज शूटिंग थ्रू द रूफ, कोई इन्फ्लेशन किसी के लिए नहीं है. So I don't know.
इनफैक्ट उसका एक कारण है. अगर आप एक तो कारण ये है ऑब्वियसली यू नो उनको उतना वरी नहीं है जितना कि हमें था. पैसे कम थे, इनके पास पैसे ज़्यादा. बट फंडामेंटली जो एक आपने स्टार्ट किया, और मैं उसको एक पॉइंट और ऐड कर रहा हूँ कि जो यंगस्टर है उनकी नीड बहुत चेंज हो गई. When they started investing, when we started investing, we used to look at what mutual fund was new. So we thought HDFC, SBI, good brands, it's good. We didn't know anything about mutual fund. All we knew, these are good brands. So we invested, and we have seen these brands over a period of time. We all felt that they are good brands, they'll deliver return. We didn't know about MF. Today, if you look at young generation, they have a different mindset. For them, if you give them only brand, it will not work. They want first convenience.
Yeah.
For them, priority is convenience.
Priorities change.
Everything is convenience.
Earlier, it was brand, performance, so and so forth, experience. Now, they want experience. They want convenience. They want to be in the control of their investment. If you give them option where they can't see where the money is, they'll not give you money. So that's a big change.
Yeah.
Or that's where I think the role of both, advisor community and DIY investors both need to be really looked at very differently.
The funny part is, Raju sir जब भी बता रहे थे ना, he said कि हमको ना 99 में 2000 में आपको बताना पड़ रहा था म्यूचुअल फंड क्या है. अभी हमको बताना पड़ रहा है भाई म्यूचुअल फंड ये नहीं है.
Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
The कल, आज और कल of the entire industry has shifted
Completely.
and I was listening to Harsha Bhogle last night. बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग उसे टेस्ट मैच में सर आपने क्यों दिया था. आई जस्ट शेयर द एनेक्डोट कि टेस्ट मैच का ना अभी लोग पूरा मैच नहीं देखते हैं, वो हाइलाइट्स देखते हैं. हर्षा बोले इज लाइक टेस्ट मैच हाइलाइट्स में नहीं जीती जाती. इट इज ऑलवेज इन बिटवीन दीज हाइलाइट्स व्हेन द गेम्स चेंज. बट ऑफ कोर्स यू नो वी देन वी विल टेक टाइम फॉर दैट टू अंडरस्टैंड.
वो जो उन्होंने सेशन की बात करी ना कि एक सेशन में वही है. टेस्ट मैच में वो एक सेशन में गेम पलट जाती है.
एक सेशन, it's only one session where.
और इनफैक्ट स्टॉक मार्केट में भी सेम हो रहा है ना.
सेम हो रहा है.
जिस दिन मार्केट गिरता है ना, you will see suddenly all the people will say कि बॉस मार्केट अब गिरने वाला है, पैसे निकाल लो. और अगले दिन मार्केट ऊपर जाता है and they'll all say कि बॉस पैसा डालना चाहिए क्या. So it changes every day.
Yeah, see at the risk of me being exposed politically, but let's say for the government instance, जो इस बार हुआ, and so we've spent, I mean I've spent 10 years, 20 years, 25 years. We know that government's change doesn't really affect the market that much. जिस तरीके से बात होता है. So the seats weren't as good as 240 and suddenly market gira, next day it's up, and then they're like, अच्छा कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But by that time, a lot of people had sold. The issue now, sir, I just want to address the dragon in the room today with Gen Z, millennial, जो भी पूरा है. These social media influencers. मैंने अनुपम से बात कर रहा था in our podcast, and so he released his book Wisest Towel, where he had I think showcased 7-8 good registered investment advisors in India. He's like, मैं क्या करूँ? I never foresaw कि आ रहेगा इतना कोई जरूरत नहीं रहेगा और ये सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर्स ही आधा काम कर रहे हैं. Very candid about the whole thing.
True.
And he's very candid about it. Anyway, but this is actually that is happening. I mean, आप देखो तो there's somebody who's just coming on Instagram, who's just coming on Twitter, random blabbering, and people following him, taking advice. How do we ensure कि Gen Zs don't get trapped in all this? Because इनका तो कैसा है, आज है कल नहीं है, account delete, place change, everything change, and I mean, what do you think about all these? I mean, मेरे को तो genuinely बोलो तो मेरे को डर लगता है इन लोगों से. एकदम आते हैं, यही खरीदना चाहिए, मैं आपको डेटा बताता हूँ, पिछले 2 साल में इसका ये हो गया, उसका वो हो गया, एंड उसका पीछे एक म्यूजिक भी चलता है. तो बहुत सारी न्यूज़ कंपनीज होते हैं, डन 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 डन, so it captures your attention like anything.
Yes.
Frustrating. So, over to you. Talk us through it.
So, social media, while it has done a lot of good things to all of us, it does come with a lot of things which are not required. But I think we have to live with that. That's the beauty of anything. If you look at, I call whatever that you referred to, Jinay, social media and trying to learn investing through social media is a borrowed conviction. I call it borrowed conviction because you get convinced by borrowing something from someone and you think they are the expert and they'll give you free advice. They are sitting there wasting their time for advising you so that you'll make money. So fundamentally, it's
Flawed.
very flawed affair, but I think we all believe in it strongly. Imagine today in India, RIA as a category has not really flourished in last 5 years. While these categories who have come on the platform, they give advice free of cost and they have done so well, which is fundamentally not correct. You have got professionals, RIAs, you have got mutual fund distributors, you have got advisors who are there to guide you, help you in this process, but people still prefer taking that free advice in the name of that whatever social media. They get borrowed conviction. That's the biggest cause of wealth destruction, if I may say so. Now, what are the solutions, and why I think it's very important to address this part, and I've started from here. Starting मैंने वही बोला कि I think the Gen Z में जो लोग आ रहे हैं उनको कहीं ना कहीं वो advice चाहिए. That's the biggest gap. Now, luckily, platform like you, the main purpose of Thinkly is to go and remove all the clutters which are there in the market, because market is full of misinformation. Now someone has to remove that lot of information and try to share only right information. That's the key today, So while social media will play a very important role, but you need to figure out, or someone like you need to give that right message to people who are right out there in the market, who are trying to learn and get misinformed on a lot of things, which at times they have very strong conviction about.
Okay.
Once you create that difference, you filter that out. That's, I think, very, very important. And I'm so happy to see you guys playing that role. A lot of DIY platforms who have got a lot of customers, a lot of new investors, they have been doing it very, very, very diligently. If you look at all the platforms, they create a lot of contents which are meant for the educating the end customer. Don't take that risk. Don't go that wrong path. Don't follow some influencers because you like them, So they have done a lot. But still, with the kind of investor that we have seen coming in and the kind of investor that we see coming every day, still we have a long way to go. And just to give you a number, today, if you look at how many unique investors are there in MF industry, any idea? We have roughly around 5 crore. We'll be just touching 5 crore investor, unique investor in the country. We have some 16 crore demat account. We have some roughly around 8.5-9 crore people who have filed income tax.
So how do you define unique investors?
Unique PAN number.
Okay.
Unique investor. So you have a lot of folios. Like last month, July end, industry crossed 20 crore folios.
Right.
But folio could be different from, let's say, I can have multiple folio.
Correct.
But out of 20 crore, we have almost 5 crore, roughly, I'm saying, slightly short of 5 crore, unique PAN
numbers.
who have invested in our industry.
Okay.
While on Demat side, it's around 16.5 crore Demat holder, roughly around on NSE 12 crore Demat holder. Now, out of this 5 crore, if you look at the data, in 19 it was 2 crore before COVID. Last 5 years, it has doubled, not doubled, more than doubled. From 2.2 crore, it has come to almost 5 crore. Imagine whatever we as an industry got customer in 20 years, we doubled in 5 years.
Absolutely.
And still we see opportunity is very large. When I see 16 crore Demat account, when I see 10 crore people filing tax, around 8-9 crore, the opportunity is still very large. On top of it, the growth that we see as an economy, as a country. So today, we talk about Indian growth, which is highest in the world, will keep on growing at 6.5-7% for next few years. That's the number everywhere. We are the best growing market in the world. That will lead to the per capita income of India will grow significantly. Today it's around 3,000, roughly, less than 3,000. It should move to, so just to give you a number, today we are at around 4.5 trillion, 5 trillion. We will be reaching 5 trillion soon. We are talking about 10 trillion economy. Number could be, let's say, number of years could be 5, 7. We can debate that part. So let's say if we move to 10 trillion in next 6 years, 7 years, we are talking about almost $8,000 per capita income in India. Imagine the kind of people who are sitting on fence, who are below investing population, they'll become part of investing population. Because people who are today at the fence, if once they move from 2 to 3, their ability to invest in different products will keep on going up.
Correct.
And globally, any economy, when they have grown from 2,000 per capita income to 6-8, that's been the biggest change in terms of investing, in terms of growth in the economy. So India is at that cusp.
So can you give an example? Let's say, I mean, if you can talk about, let's say, I'm just giving an option. Think कि जैसे China हो गया या Japan हो गया या I mean any economy that has actually grown from 2,000 per capita to, I mean, so GDP wise we are like we are 4th or the 5th largest currently. कोई per capita parity आ जाता है तो हम 170 के पीछे चले जाते हैं. 170 we're even behind Bangladesh.
Right.
So if you can give an example in terms of how things change. जब भी आप बोल रहे हो कि ये per capita से यहाँ से 3 गुना अगर per capita होता है तो क्या क्या चीजें बदलती हैं? Because that's something ना वो context कहीं ना कहीं missing है in when people are talking about कि अच्छा होगा.
मैं एक आपको डेटा देता हूँ, यूएस का डेटा देता हूँ, then I'll come to India. यूएस का इकोनॉमी today it's around, I don't know how many of you know, it's around 29-30 trillion dollar, and US का MF market, any guess?
I think it's over 100 or something.
It's 34 trillion.
Okay, then I'm off by a huge number.
So US market, mutual fund market I'm talking about, is almost bigger than the US GDP.
Correct.
Look at India.
Correct. Yeah.
Look at India. We are at, while a lot of us say we are 60 lakh crore, blah, 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 but we are at 700 billion, $750 billion today. Our economy is roughly around 4 trillion. So we are still 1/3 or less than 1/3, probably, 25, in fact 20%, we are 20% of our economy in terms of MF percentage of the total GDP, which means the opportunity for us, if we are talking about India growing to 10 trillion, imagine if we become like US, wherein we just, like US, we just follow that path of mutual fund growing. And if we become 10 trillion, we are talking about 750 billion moving to 10 trillion in next 10, 12, 13 years.
So, sorry. I mean, what I was trying to say is, मेरे को लगता है मेरा question framing थोड़ा सा गलत हो गया है. What I'm trying to say is, what are the visible signs जब भी in terms of infrastructure, in terms of more cars per families, more Indians more people traveling abroad, Japan का कैसा है? I mean, everybody can travel anywhere they want. US, I mean, the people who are wealth, they travel. They live that sort of a life. What we are still not used to, or we're still not living. So I'm talking about that angle also.
So you're right. When you, all of us, while we have seen the growth of our economy in last 5 years, especially, wherein the consumption pattern has gone big time change.
Okay.
Especially post COVID, while all of us were concerned during COVID in terms of how, let's say, few sectors will play out, hotels, aviation. All of us were concerned. Today, you try booking a hotel, try booking a flight, and you'll realize the kind of consumption that we have seen. It's massive. So I'm just quoting few sectors. You look at car, when you want to book a car, most of the cars had waiting period of 6 to 8 months. When you look at AC sale in the country, it's all-time high. When you go to a tier 3 town in the country, thanks to again digital and e-commerce. Today, you go to a village, forget tier 3 town, they now buy same product which you consume sitting here in Bombay.
Absolutely.
They order from Flipkart, they order from Amazon. So that e-commerce has made access, the kind of consumption behavior that we see, it's primarily because they've got again access and they have got ability. So their buying power has gone up. So signs are visible across. Where you go to tier 3 town, tier 4 town, they have got 5G, they have got data, they have got they have got everything. So they are no more different. I remember when we came to Bombay, we had this feeling that we are slightly elite. We have access to something which probably a tier 4 guy will not have. Forget tier 4, even tier 2 guy will not have.
Yeah.
Today that line is blurred. Whether you are sitting in a village, you're sitting in Bombay, you have same set of information, same social media, same e-commerce, so everything is same. So that creates a massive opportunity. So when your population is getting access, they have got now money, their income is growing, they are thinking like you.
Yeah.
They are no more feeling that you're from Bombay, so you're different. Right? That's reality, So that has really transformed the, overall growth that we're talking about. So productivity of people have gone up. You go to a small town, you see people are making a lot of money on YouTube, on Insta, which they couldn't imagine probably 5 years back.
When we say, your question was that if the country moves from 2,000, 3,000 per capita income to 5,000 or 10,000 per capita income, the consumption pattern completely changes.
Right.
अगर आप आज सपोज 10 लाख रुपए साल का कमा रहे हो और कल उठ के आप 25 लाख रुपए आपकी फैमिली कमाएगी, तो यू विल नॉट ईट 4 times a day or 6 times a day.
Right.
फूड कंजम्पशन उतना ही रहेगा. यू विल नॉट ब्रश 5 times a day.
Not at all.
So जो पास्ट में जो कल का जो है ना, वो कंजम्पशन पैटर्न विल चेंज. So now you will start using more lifestyle things. Now you will consume more data. Now you will consume more flights, flights, or even tourism, or you will go to different places.
House renovation.
Yes, it's a big sector. और ये सब adds up to the economy, or that will add to the GDP. Now, recently I was listening to Rajendra Bhatia, and he gave a beautiful numbers that every 8 years, our GDP is doubling.
Correct.
Okay. In 2008, we were at $1 trillion. 2016, we were at $2 trillion.
Correct.
Now we are at 2024, we are at $4 trillion. In next 8 years, okay, we will be at $8 trillion.
Wow.
Okay. Now, when $8 trillion may, the consumption pattern is going to be drastically different. Okay. So the pace of growth is going to be drastically different. At the same time, Rama Vijay Purkar has done a very superb study, and I think Jinay, you are part of that lecture that we attended with Mr. Maran.
Okay.
So the lower middle class community is earning. Okay. If you earn more, you're complete, that things are going to, the way in which the lifestyle that you live is going to change. And you can see yourself that what we were spending on 5 years, 10 years back, today what we are spending on. And that is where, the youth today, Gen Z has been the driver of that. And they will be consuming more and more of this kind of things. And I don't see Gen Z's need to change. We need to change the way we think. It's practically that.
सर ये आपने ना बोला है हमारा ऑडियंस जेंजी है तो हम बच जाएंगे अगर आपके वाले ऑडियंस होता ना एकदम ऐसा अनसब्सक्राइब चालू हो जाता हम नहीं बदलने वाले
That is a fact of life.
That's reality. Yes.
Country is changing. वो इंडिया से भारत हो रहे हैं तो there is actual में विकसित भारत is if it actually happens तो we will have to change, not the.
Let's not get that. Don't worry, comments will come.
एक इंटरेस्टिंग डेटा मैंने देखा एट सेम एज मिलेनियल लाइक अस वी आर 25% richer than our parents you know? And our next generation will be 40% richer than us at same age. So that's the big shift.
That's the big shift.
ऊपर से हम उनको बोलते हैं यार ये मत करो.
So all that we need to do is educate them and make them empowered to do the things in the right way. That's all. They are doing so many things in the right way, which we have not thought.
सही बात है.
तो वो कर ही रहे हैं, just उनको channelize करना है ढंग से, बाकी else we cannot.
I think your son is the luckiest son. Trust me. इन्होंने अभी समझ लिया है वो चीज. But incredible sir. I think that is why we call you पितामह.
Thank you.
ऐसे थोड़ी ना बोलते आप justify करते हो पूरा बात को यार. With that now, I'll take a few questions from मुझे at the end. There are some questions that have come on the app also readers के and by the way, Aniket said he's guilty of searching investing during the last one. I think Aniket has a way of getting it.
No, they should do it.
They should do it.
Yeah.
And then they should come to you to understand what is right, what is wrong. That's
Absolutely. Pitamah is also here on the way waiting. Aisha, I think your question is what even I wanted to cover. Very beautiful question. आपने जब भी बोला ना लॉन्ग टर्म तभी मेरे को लगा था कि किसी का तो आएगा अगर मैं नहीं बोलूंगा तो. And she said कि how to decide between saving for short term goals and long term investments. अगर हमको बताओ. Because what is short term, what is long? मेरा short term is different. आपका short term is different.
So it's very interesting and very important question that all of us need to really understand for our own need. See, there is no one fit formula for anyone.
Sure.
When we say something, typically we give a generic advice to people saying you should look at long term, you should look at short term for different need. But we never say that long term for Jinay could be different than that of Manish, depending on need.
Correct.
Having said that, all of us typically will have multiple goals that for that we invest our money. We keep on hearing about various goals, retirement goals, children planning, marriage,
Yes.
education, buying a home, buying a car, travel plan, holidays, so on and so forth. If you get right advisor who can guide you, they'll be in a position to give you advice in terms of what are the goals which are long term, like retirement is a long term goal.
True.
But let's say buying a car, if you want to buy a car 3 years down the line, it's a short term goal. So depending on your need, the advisor or distributor will be in a position to guide you and give you right advice. If you want to do it yourself, then you really need to do a lot of study and figure out whether these goals can be met with these kind of investment. It's not difficult. Today you have got a lot of information, you can do it, but it requires a lot of understanding, and hence I think if I give you few numbers, just to corroborate what I'm trying to say. Look at when a lot of people who have come in the equity market in last 5 years, last 5-year returns in equity is around 13-14%. Equity has given 13-14% return. Unfortunately, it's been one way.
Right.
Why I'm saying unfortunate because a good equity market brings a lot of good investors.
Correct.
A bad market teaches a lot of good investors how to become a good investor.
Correct.
So
true.
We have not seen bad times, hence a lot of investors who have come in last 5 years, they have not become better investors because they have not seen that. And but let's look at number, Look at equity market in last 40 years, I'm saying. BSE started in 1986. It's today, all of us know, we keep on seeing that data, it's 80,000 plus Sensex.
Yeah.
Sensex 80,000 plus is something all of us know.
Huge. Yeah.
It started in 1986. If you look at CAGR return for last 40 years, it's around 13-14%. You look at last 20 years return, it's around 13-14%. And without looking at data, I can tell you, we look at 12, 15, 16, 18, it will be in the same range.
Okay.
It can be 13, 14, 15, which is in line with the growth of India. When I'm saying growth, GDP plus inflation is the number that you see in the form of return from equity market.
Okay.
That's the biggest reality. If in a particular time frame, you make return which is higher than this,
Right.
someday you'll go to mean reversion. So if you make 20%, 30%, 40% in a particular time frame, at some point in time, you have to go and go back to the average.
Yes.
So that's the biggest truth about investing in equity. Let's be realistic. If you stay for long term, if you stay true to your goal, your return will be in the range of economic growth, which is inflation plus GDP, which should be in the range of 13, 14, 15%. And that's the data which is there for last 40 years. So let's believe in that data.
Okay.
Let's not try to do shortcut because you made 40% return in last 1 year. Let's not come with that assumption that now that you have made 40% in 2 years in a particular product, ideally, if you get anything less than 40, you will feel disappointed. So that's something people need to understand. You know.
Questions we get very regularly in
Correct.
Arthashastra. So, what is short term, what is medium term, and what is long term is typically the question. You can divide, first thing that you need to do is you to understand, you have to divide your goals in at Arthashastra bucket is we divide in 3 buckets, short term, medium term, and long term.
Correct.
Okay. Sure. और basic rule of investing is you have to benchmark your investment to the inflation. Inflation आप बोल लो मेरा 10% है, 10% से grow होना चाहिए. तो अगर in short term ना, all the goals which fall in 1 to 5 years fall in short term bucket.
Correct.
All goals 5 to 10 years medium term, 10 years and above in long term. जो 1 से 5 साल के goals है, they typically should be invested in debt instruments, fixed deposits or liquid. Okay. क्योंकि उसमें इन्फ्लेशन मेरे को 2 लाख रुपया चाहिए आईफोन लेने के लिए, तो 2 साल के बाद 2.5 लाख होगा, उससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं होगा प्रैक्टिकली. तो वो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट थिंग, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू लॉन्ग टर्म, okay, compounding plays a major, it's the 8th wonder of the world, and it is very difficult to understand, difficult to gauge at this point. So there you need assets which are growing faster, like equity and real estate. Unfortunately, young generations today are looking at reverse. They are coming for short term in this, and for long term people typically in India have PPF and LIC policies and all, which is the wrong thing. Which if you can just understand this thing that for short term, Jinay, you would agree, IDFC has done a very good study on that. 80% of the investors come when the markets are high, are in the red zone.
Yes.
And this is, if you can avoid these things and be quite sensible enough to put the investments in the right bucket, in the right asset classes, I think things will.
If you want to really create wealth, it doesn't come so easy, you know. And let's look at few of the nuances of investing. Like Raju bhai mentioned about different products. We also call it asset class. You should invest in different asset class. You should not be only looking at one asset class as a mode of investing, you know.
So जैसे थाली होती है ना, थाली में
yes,
प्रोटीन्स,
सब कुछ
कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, सब कुछ होता है. वैसे ही आपके इन्वेस्टमेंट में सब कुछ होना चाहिए.
अगर डेजर्ट बहुत अच्छा लगा तो कैन यू ईट ओनली डेजर्ट बिकॉज ये सबसे अच्छा टेस्टी नहीं होता. डेजर्ट हम एंड में खाते हैं क्योंकि उसका रिस्क भी है, ज्यादा खा लोगे तो इंश्योरेंस बढ़
बोलो
जाएगा.
या पिकल बोलो, इट हैज स्मॉल क्वांटिटी.
सो उसी तरीके से इन्वेस्टिंग में क्रिप्टो डेजर्ट हो गया.
हाँ, वो डेजर्ट तरीके खाओ या पिकल तरीके खाओ तो ठीक है.
Yes.
उसको मेन फूड बना लोगे तो तब तक.
अगर हम देखें, let's assume 15% CAGR. So in my understanding वो खोटा नहीं है, because 15% CAGR आपका 5 साल में I think 2.5 गुना पैसा होता है. 10 साल में अराउंड 5 गुना जितना होता है.
एक मैं इसका
हाँ.
एक सिंपल सबको याद रखने के लिए बता रहा हूँ कि आप 72 को
हम्म.
परसेंटेज ऑफ रिटर्न से डिवाइड कर लें, जो नंबर आएगा उतने साल में आपका पैसा डबल होगा.
पैसा डबल
ये बहुत सिंपल मैथ्स है. 72 लेट्स से अगर 12% का रिटर्न हम मान के चल रहे हैं तो 6 साल में आपका पैसा डबल होगा. ये सिंपल मैथ. 72 का फॉर्मूला आप याद रखो यंगस्टर, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट.
डबल जो होता है ना सर, मेरा पॉइंट इसमें ये एक्स्ट्रा ये है कि आपका 5 गुना 10 साल के बाद हो, पर 20 साल में तो देन इट इज 5 का 10 हुआ और 10 का 20 हुआ.
Yes.
तो 20 साल में आपका 20 गुना पैसा.
यस.
ये वाला जो कैलकुलेशन है ना, कहीं ना कहीं वो मिसिंग.
वो कंपाउंडिंग लोगों को समझते ही नहीं.
समझते नहीं. वो वही 8 वंडर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इज कंपाउंडिंग.
और समझ गया तो फिर पे क्यों करेगा? Everybody will start earning. But so the point of the whole thing is कि to all the listeners, you know, कि 15% खोटा नहीं है, क्योंकि 20 साल में आपका 20 गुना पैसा बन रहा है. अब मेरे को पूछो तो इट्स अ गुड इनफ मनी बेसिकली, क्योंकि आप इससे ज़्यादा आप खर्चा भी नहीं कर पाओगे.
नहीं, उसका एक दूसरा भी एस्पेक्ट है. यानी जेनजी को खासकर, यानी लोगों को लगता है कि आपको बहुत पैसा बनाने के लिए बहुत सा पैसा लगेगा. But when you actually play the compounding game, na, you invest little bit, enjoy more, still you will make money.
Yeah.
The only thing you need is to invest for long term. So in investing, there are 3 different aspects. Na? The amount,
Correct.
एक rate of return, और एक N, number of years.
Correct.
Now, if you have number of years which is high,
हाँ.
तो आपका अमाउंट भी कम होगा चलेगा, रेट ऑफ रिटर्न भी कम होगा चलेगा.
सही बात है.
मगर अगर आपके पास वो N कम है ना, then the issue starts.
Yes.
So if people or youngsters especially understand that if they have long time, तो छोटा पैसा लेके enjoy with the other money. Means life is not all about investing. Life is also about enjoying. So so इसको enjoy करने के लिए और कल का responsibilities take care करने के लिए you should enjoy your life today and life actually make it beautiful. But understand that with small things and lot of discipline, you can still create lot of wealth in long term.
एक क्लास है जो कि इनके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, वो इन्वेस्टिंग इन सेल्फ. बिकॉज
Self development.
at times, let's say today if I'm doing a job that gives me, you know, a certain salary X, can I improve my skill set by putting, let's say, X amount which will give me 50% more salary? That becomes a far better investment than making 15% in equity.
Absolutely.
So that's something very, very important we all need to keep in mind, you know.
और वो सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट इज वन ऑफ द की ड्राइवर्स. मीन्स और अगर मीन्स वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वी से इज इन योर ओन बिजनेस. और एंड टुडेज टाइम व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज अगेन फॉर यंग जनरेशंस, द एग्जिस्टिंग स्किल्स आर गोइंग टू बिकम एब्सोल्यूट बिल्कुल नॉट यूटिलिटी में आ जाएगी इन अ वेरी वेरी शॉर्ट स्पैन ऑफ टाइम. सो आई हैड वन investor, he was from UK, he was master in SAP, okay, in 2000. He got a good job in UK and within 10 years SAP का utility drastically कम हो गया. He had to learn new technology to understand, to be relevant in that business. Or today with AI and these things, that upgrading yourself, upskilling yourself is one of the biggest investment that yes, you need to do.
Absolutely. So very well said. I think, and it is quite visible in, मतलब मेरे को तो आप दोनों में वो काफ़ी visible लगता है, because the way you started your career, आपने खुद ने भी वो invest किया, and that is where you've reached this stage. So the next set of question है ना, मेरे को ऐसा इच्छा है कि combine करूँ, because so it's a question from Anand and Lavanya. So how your financial management approach has evolved, and उसके साथ साथ हर पड़ाव में ना एक stress आता है कि ये वाला फाइनेंशियल डिसीजन लेना एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम, कैसे लेना, क्या हुआ. सो कुछ आपकी अपनी भी कहानी बताइए, वो यू नो, फॉर द लिसनर्स टू बिलीव दैट यस, यू नो, एडवाइजर्स, फंड मैनेजर्स एंड पीपल इन द इंडस्ट्री आर आल्सो ह्यूमन बीइंग्स. वी आर नॉट रनिंग लाइक अ रोबोट. हमारे भी एक इमोशंस होते हैं, हमको भी स्ट्रेस आता है, हमको भी कभी कभी थोड़ा सा डर लग जाता है. सो सर,
very nice question. You know, everybody, we as humans, we all go through cycles of emotions, and we all will go through cycles of good and bad times both. Okay. I started my career in 99, and I literally started by going office to office, door to door, or I started offering mutual funds and insurance at that point of time. And at the same time, I learned a lot. When I say invest in yourself, I have put in lots of efforts in studying, understanding. I still attend lots of workshops. Recently, I had been to IIM and attended a workshop on marketing. So, constantly upgrading myself has been the thing. Now, in this journey, I have the best thing that I have learned is how to invest. And that has happened because I wanted to be a good advisor for investors. और जब वो in that process of being a good advisor for this, I have learned myself. But today, for me also, I don't take my own advice. I have an advisor other than me who advises me on investment.
Seriously, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है.
ऐसा होता है. आज भी मेरे पास मेरे लिए मेरा investments का there is somebody else who advises me. That is first part.
Super.
So as a individual, what you should do, what you should be looking at is a trusted person who will advise you. First thing is the trusted person who you can trust who is going to advise you, right? That is the first priority, first criteria. Second part is he should be skilled enough to know the nuances of finances. Okay? So, एक तो trusted, then he should be skillful enough to understand the nuances of finances and who is adaptable to the future learnings. Who is not, वो ये नहीं बोल दे कि ये traditionally mutual fund चल रहा है, mutual fund ही सही है. That's one part of it. But there is, tomorrow mutual funds will evolve to ETFs, to index funds, to maybe crypto would be good, maybe art could be good. So the person who is ready to adopt to the new technologies or new things and grow with you is the second criteria which you should look in an advisor. And third and the most important part is he should be accessible to you. बहुत से advisors ऐसे मिलेंगे आपको जो बोलेंगे आपको या मैंने आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दिया और बस भूल गए. वैसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए. टाइम टू टाइम एटलीस्ट वंस इन अ ईयर जैसे हम लोग गाड़ी को सर्विसिंग करते हैं अपना पोर्टफोलियो को रिव्यू करना बहुत जरूरी है. So you should look at an advisor who is good enough for you in all three ways. It's somebody who is trustworthy, somebody who knows what he is doing, and is able to offer you the best advice. And best advice is not the best returns. So there's a big difference in that. So, and third thing is yes, he is open to listening to you, and he or she is actually doing the business in a professional manner.
Very rightly put across by Raju bhai. I think he has got a lot of experience, so obviously he can give advice to all the youngster. I'll just add few additional points. If you look at the options that we had when, let's say, our parents had, and what we had, and what these guys have, it's very different. Our parents had gold, property, bank FD, NSC, PPF. That's all.
That's it. Yes.
So it was so simple, you had some, and probably LIC. So you had some LIC agent would come and convince him he'll start one policy.
Also like family uncle you heard.
Yes, you have relative, lot of friends who सब LIC लेके आते थे और they used to buy. These were the very simplest product that one can imagine.
Correct.
But to buy a property or invest into FD, you don't need advice. Our life when we grew in last 20 years, our life was slightly challenging because we started seeing something called equity, mutual funds, gold, ETF, active, passive. So we, in last 15, 20 years, we have gone through some bit of challenging products. Now look at young generation. Now, in fact, when we started I was part of this industry, we used to differentiate to our investors and partners by telling them that why MF is good because there are so many stocks, you don't know where to invest. We help you simplify that process.
Okay.
Now you have got so many mutual funds, which is more than number of stocks. And then you have got AIF, PMS, new asset class, active, passive. Imagine the plight of investor. So these young generation, उनकी plight हमसे बहुत difficult है. हम lucky थे. So अगर उनके पास इतनी सारी चीजें हैं, and if they think they can do it themselves, I think fundamentally it will not happen. They need someone like Raju bhai. They need someone who can guide him.
Yes.
And believe you me, investing is not only about chasing returns. Investing is about managing the emotions. I call it business of emotions. What Raju bhai is doing, He doesn't go and manage your business. He manage your investing. You know, your investment is being managed by professionals sitting in some AMC houses or some whatever product. But he's there to guide you, to manage your emotion when things are not great. And I've seen this myself. All of us probably must have experienced, you know, when COVID happened. I know someone, he shared me that story. He is a distributor in mutual fund. He said one of my investor, he called me when equity market had fallen to 8,000. So this narrative was going on in the market that market khatam ho jayega. So ab to nikal hi jao. This guy had made hell lot of money in small cap funds in last 7-8 years. उसका वैल्यू 3 करोड़ हो गया था पीक पे, जो गिर के 1.5 करोड़ हो गया उस टाइम पे. Small cap had corrected by 50% almost. Now this guy who has been so aggressive fund investor, he used to invest only in small cap. He came to this distributor and told him, boss, I need to get out. I have got very strong information from someone कि market खत्म होने वाला. तो इसने बोला कि आप इतने aggressive investor रहे हो, अभी आपको इस टाइम पे आपको होल्ड करना चाहिए. He, after lot of emotional support, blah blah, he stayed back. और अभी उसकी वैल्यू 4 times rather from that 1.5 crore is now 6 crore.
My God.
अगर वो निकल गया होता, इमेजिन करो एडवाइजर की वैल्यू क्या है.
Absolutely.
You don't realize. It's not about he is creating returns for you.
Not at all.
When you need him the most, कि बस मैं इमोशनली मैं इतना वीक हूँ, बस पैनिक, मुझे निकलना है. That's the time you need them the most.
Yes.
So you hit the bullseye kind of.
हाँ, और आपने numbers लेके बोला ना, वो बहुत अच्छा किया.
मैं ये real life example दे रहा हूँ.
These so many experiences that we have had.
And he must have experienced it every day.
He's going through it.
And इसको quantify नहीं कर सकते.
इसको quantify नहीं कर सकते.
I wish industry could quantify this. कि जो advisor जब उसको hold करवाता है और जो उसका value वहाँ से बढ़ता है, you know, it's massive. You can't look at, lot of people think direct, regular, blah blah, and it's peanuts.
It's peanuts. Practically वो peanuts है. यानी वो लोग बहुत सी बार डिस्कस करते हैं कि वो डायरेक्ट में मेरा 0.75 पैसा बच रहा है और एक्सेल शीट में देखो तो मेरा 20 साल में 50 लाख बच जाएगा, मगर वो what they don't understand is 0.75 के चक्कर में आप पूरा 100 rupees और 99 rupees you are putting it on risk.
Right.
So what is more valuable, 0.75 and 99? That the day they understand.
Sometimes I feel just like Instagram, Microsoft Excel भी वैसा ही.
एक्सेल शीट में बहुत अच्छा दिखता है कि मैं 50 लाख 1 करोड़ बचा लूंगा, मगर एक्चुअल में
Yes.
what is at stake?
मेरे को memories याद थी कभी-कभी, you know, when people share Excel sheet के कि देखो एडवाइजर इतना बना रहा है, आप इतना बना रहे हो. As a client आप भी तो बना रहे हो. I mean, it's like आप हार्ट सर्जन को जाके नहीं बोलते ना, थोड़ा 2 लाख रुपया कम कर देना, हाँ मतलब एक आध नस थोड़ा कम डाल देना, तो क्या दिक्कत है, तो जिस तरह उसका चल रहा है चल ही रहा है.
नहीं, इसका दूसरा एनेक्डोट बोलते हैं कि if you see best of the surgeon,
हाँ,
okay, he will not be able to operate if his son has faced an accident, और उसको अगर बोलो कि उसकी ब्रेन सर्जरी करनी है, no surgeon will, at least I don't know anybody who will actually operate.
आप डॉक्टर की बात कर रहे हो, मैं तो आपकी बात कर रहा हूँ. अभी आपने क्या बोला?
मैं बोला और लोग बोलते हैं कि पैसा खुद मैनेज कर सकते हो, पैसे में ज्यादा इमोशंस हैं.
राइट.
उसका तो ऑपरेशन के उतने 1-2 घंटे का
मतलब someone like you, जो आप इतने लोग एडवाइस करते हैं, when it comes to your money, you can't control your emotion. That's the fact.
I don't.
That's the fact.
Absolutely. I think Lakshmi Ranjan is asking a very simple question in terms of you share an experience जहाँ पे, you know, a financial mistake has taught you a very important lesson. So just to talk about the importance of having an advisor. So या आप करने जा रहे थे और वो रह गया और वो हो सकता था उस टाइम पे एक financial mistake.
They're not one, they're many.
So
difficult to say one. And both of us can share because we have gone through it. While we have been part of industry, mind you, we are not, you know, this generation wherein we had access to so many information, so many content. But still, the kind of mistakes we made. And today, when I look at, you know, I imagine if I could have gone back 20 years with a lot of money and kind of could have done what probably I couldn't do because I missed the big time, opportunity that we have seen, and that's regret for us because time is important, and that's where, start early is very, very important for all of us. Coming back to the biggest mistake that people make is start early. That's the fundamental mistake. Forget anything. Start small, start early. We all have done that. Luckily, you have now a lot of people who advise you to start early. We are not told by someone कि बस equity mutual fund में आप start early करोगे, long term में wealth creation होगा, ये हमको कोई सिखाया नहीं. You guys are lucky. आपको इतने लोग आके बता रहे हैं. Don't repeat that mistake which we all committed. Start early. Second important, never chase returns. We all have been victim of that, chasing returns on borrowed conviction and failing in our expectations.
Manish sir, it is very hard to believe that you also had that issue. हमारा तो ठीक है समझ.
Because जो राजू भाई ने बोला कि पैसा डाला, फिर बीच में लगा कि मार्केट, क्योंकि आप जिस सर्कल में घिरे हो ना, वहाँ पे 10 लोग आपको ज्ञान दे रहे हैं, तो आपका कन्विक्शन वहीं पे हो गया ना, बोरोड कन्विक्शन. आप सोच रहे हो यार कि राजू भाई बोल रहे हैं, जिनय बोल रहे हैं, चलो निकल जाते हैं यार. आपने भी सेम गलती करी. कभी लगा अरे ये लेना है तो आपने बेच दिया इक्विटी, अरे ये घूमने जाना है तो आपने वो बेच दिया. एंड दीज आर रियल एग्जाम्पल जहाँ पे कि हमने अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट बेचा है फॉर डूइंग समथिंग व्हिच वी रिग्रेट लेटर ऑन कि आई विश आई कुड हैव स्टेड because someone told you, or you did it because of the short term goal of doing something which you could have delayed for some time.
Correct.
And you could have made enough wealth to do it later and still have a lot of money left.
I agree.
So second part, first start early, second don't chase returns, third I think asset allocation, it's all the more important. While हम लोग lucky थे कि हमारे 20 साल के करियर में roughly 15 साल मार्केट अच्छा रहा, बट न्यू जनरेशन इतनी लकी नहीं होने वाली. होगी, आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि नहीं होगा, बट साइकिल विल बी शॉर्टर, एंड इन दैट प्रोसेस दे नीड टू ensure that they have right asset allocation. While equity will still give you best return in next 15-20 years because India will grow at one of the best growing economy in the world, will grow, but other asset class like gold, like debt will give you hedge when times are difficult. So all of us, when we are investing, don't over emphasize on one asset class. Don't take so much bet on one class that tomorrow this can give you sleepless night. So these are three things which I think is very important, which I wish I knew probably 20 years back.
Beautiful, Manish. I would say after knowing all these things also, I have my biggest regret, or मैं बोलता हूँ मेरा mistake बोल सकते हैं. I have never focused on SIPs. Okay. I have not been, I have been a
huge proponent of SIP.
SIP as a business also we have never focused on SIPs.
Acha.
We have been proponents of asset allocation.
Correct.
Okay. But that is the regret. Okay. तो cash में और SIP is such a powerful tool. Okay, especially for youngsters. जब मैं बोल रहा हूँ आप, you will not understand the power of investing 20,000 per month now and creating a wealth of crores in 15-20 years. और जो अगर मुझे knowledge के बावजूद मैं नहीं कर सका, that is the biggest mistake that I would say I have had. So in spite of all the knowledge, still you can make big, and it's a big mistake. It's not a small mistake.
So I call SIP as the biggest wealth creator.
Biggest wealth creator.
Tip as the biggest wealth destructor.
So Warren Buffett का classic ये है ना कि lot of money and lot of information is a classic recipe for disaster.
Our industry will keep on growing at 15-20%. So this number could be very high in next 5-10 years. No other country in the world could do it.
India, if you see the future, okay, today we are 4, in 8 years maybe we'll at $8 trillion economy. Correct. और उसके बाद और एक 16 साल is $16 trillion. See the amount of wealth that India is going to create. Unbelievable. Or what Manish said, we still are 30-35% of the GDP, which scope is to grow to 100%. और maybe 100 छोड़ दो, यहाँ से डबल भी हो जाए तो भी $16 trillion का हाफ हो. और अगर जस्ट लोग सिंपल थिंग करते रहे, यहाँ से SIP करते रहो सालों साल, okay, You don't need to do anything else.
So हमारी इंडस्ट्री की साइज यूएस की लार्जेस्ट एएमसी का 1/3 या 1/4.
अच्छा ठीक है, नहीं कंपेयर करते. अच्छा नहीं लगता ना. एक जगह सर बोलते हैं विकसित भारत, दूसरी जगह बोलते हैं अभी भी 25% ऑपरेटिंग कैपेसिटी. It's very interesting sir, जब हम बात करते हैं ना, when we're talking about 20,000 crores, 30,000 crores, numbers dazzle you, right? And वो हमको कर रहे हैं. There's a mission 50,000 crores सर, आपने भी बोला था. So मेरे को राजू सर कल बोल रहे थे कि think about it ना, are these flows boon or blessing है कि it's a blessing in disguise है? मतलब God knows, I mean it's a devilish thing or angel, boon and bane है. What do you think about it?
For me,
yeah, you can look at him. It's a difficult question.
For me, since I'm in this business, it's a boon. Or more than that, I think SIP is the great way of creating wealth. You know,
Correct.
I was speaking to my guru once, and Maran sir, और उनको पूछा मैं कि what is the best way of wealth creation? तो उन्होंने बहुत beautifully explain किया था, and this is even 7-8 years back, कि first thing is if you can pick up a stock, if you understand stocks and if you can pick up stocks and if you can understand businesses and change the business and pick up the stock, that is the best investor, that first one way.
Correct.
Second thing is you have lots of money and you hire a good trusted advisor और वो आपके लिए अच्छा investment करे, वो एक है. मगर 90% or 95% people don't have both the options. The third best option is do SIPs. SIPs in India have generated 20% per annum growth. अगर हम लोग उसको और डिस्काउंट कर दे अगले 15 साल 20 साल में हम लोग मे भी 15% से करेंगे. इट्स अ सुपर पावरफुल टूल. ओके, क्यों? क्योंकि बेसिक समझ लो, एक डिसिप्लिन, आप अगले 20 साल तक इन्वेस्ट करोगे, आपका कैपिटल इनपुट होता रहेगा. दूसरी बात है, यू विल बी कटिंग अक्रॉस द मार्केट साइकिल्स. Market cycles are going to be up and down. But what is going to remain constant is India growth story. India is going to grow. India is going to grow rapidly, and India is going to grow, which is we have not seen in the past. और वो जो growth आने वाली है ना, उसको आप the best way you can leverage is through SIPs. So for me, growth of SIP is a boon, not a bane.
I agree. There is no.
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत अच्छा है सर. इतना डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन खुद बोला, पूछा कि तू सोच इसके ऊपर, आंसर तो सर का रेडी होता है. This is the advisor you want. Seriously, yes, sorry sir to cut you out.
So राजू भाई ने समराइज किया, I think very aptly explained. सिप का बिगेस्ट एडवांटेज क्या है? एक तो जो राजू भाई ने बोला कि इंडिया में जो ग्रोथ अगले 10 साल में जिसकी बात कर रहे हैं, इकॉनमी ग्रो होगा, ये होगा, उसमें you can participate by putting a small amount. Now look at 20,000 crore equity SIP book है. It has some 8.94 crore folios.
Wow.
So which is a pure retailing. The investors who have come through SIP are true retail investors.
Correct.
They have participated in this growth story through systematic investment. Now one, you are participating in the growth story of India. The only challenge which happens in equity market, it doesn't come in a uniform linear way. It comes with lot of volatility, and SIP is the biggest friend of volatility, which means the advantage of being in SIP, that your experience will be far better than someone putting money today and looking at the market correction and then feeling, boss, I wish I could have delayed, or probably they tend to not control their emotion and get out of that investing. In SIP, typically people invest for long term. So it makes you that long-term investor, and if you stay for 5 to 6 years, the kind of compounding in one cycle you create, it will ensure that you become long-term investor. So if you put lump sum, you tend to follow it, track it,
exactly,
and then see, oh, market has corrected by 40% or 30% or 20%, I should move out. But अगर आपने SIP करी, आपका जो जर्नी 5वें साल के बाद जब मल्टीप्लाई होगा ना, आप लॉन्ग टर्म हो जाओ,
और ऑटोमेटिकली
आपको कोई सिखाएगा नहीं.
हाँ.
आपको ये ज्ञान की जरूरत ही नहीं है फिर. तो ये जो 5 साल की जर्नी है ना, वहाँ पे हमारी जरूरत है. हम आपको कैसे वो 5 साल का व्यू लेके आ सकते. बट SIP इज द बेस्ट टूल फॉर एनीवन, देयर इज नो डाउट फॉर इट.
एक इसमें एक्चुअल रियल कहानी है बताता हूँ।
प्लीज
आठ
हम तो
दस
आपके रियल कहानी के लिए इधर बैठे हो।
नहीं 8-10 साल पहले मैं आगरा से आ रहा था। आगरा से टैक्सी में बैठा, टैक्सी में इधर आ रहा था दिल्ली तक। तो टैक्सी ड्राइवर बैठे थे, अभी 2-3 घंटा 3-4 घंटे का टाइम है, बात करना चालू किया टैक्सी ड्राइवर से।
करेक्ट।
तो टैक्सी ड्राइवर को पूछा मैं कि बोला कुछ कैसा चल रहा है सब, काम बराबर है? हाँ बराबर चल रहा है सब, बढ़िया चल रहा है सब। तो मतलब कुछ जैसे अपना बिजनेस ही वो है। तो पूछा कुछ बचाते हो कि नहीं? तो बोलते कहाँ साहब, 2 बच्चे, उनकी पढ़ाई लिखाई, उसके बस में से कहाँ बचा पाएंगे, उनको ही पढ़ा ये सब करे, उनका ही खर्चा ये निकल जाए, वही बड़ी बात है, मगर खा पी के सुखी है हम। मैं बोला अरे यार बहुत बढ़िया बात है, 2 बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं अपने। बोले हाँ पढ़ रहे हैं, उनको ये स्कूल में भेज रहा हूँ, वो स्कूल में भेज रहा हूँ। मैं बोला तो अगर तीसरा बच्चा होता तो क्या आप उनको पढ़ाते? तो भाई साहब ऐसा क्यों पूछ रहे हो, उनको भी पढ़ा, उसको भी पढ़ाता था। तो मैं बोला एक काम करो आप, ये एक बच्चे पे आप कितना खर्चा करते हो? तो जोड़ तोड़ के हिसाब किया, बोले 8-9 हज़ार रुपया पर मंथ में एक बच्चे पे खर्चा जाता है हमारा, एजुकेशन, खाना पीना सब करके। मैं बोला आप एक काम करो, 10,000 रुपया पर मंथ अगर आप एक बच्चे पे खर्चा कर रहे हो तो एक समझ लो तीसरा बच्चा है, ओके, उसको SIP समझ लो, ओके, और ये तीसरे बच्चे के लिए आप SIP करके चालू करो। 20 साल के बाद मेरे को पता नहीं ये दोनों बच्चे उनके क्या चैलेंजेस होंगे, मे बी वो लोग आउट ऑफ इंडिया रहेंगे, नहीं रहेंगे, या आगे पीछे रहेंगे, आई डोंट नो वेदर दे विल बी एबल टू हेल्प यू। मगर ये जो तीसरा बच्चा है ना SIP, वो आपको जरूर काम करे। And recently I had forgotten about that story. This person calls me almost 8-9 साल के बाद और बोलता है साहब मेरा पोर्टफोलियो 50 लाख का हो गया, आप क्या करो? So actually he did it.
एक बच्चे के नाम पे और इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दे।
But these are the facts.
Right.
So these
Massive.
are the miracles.
That's real story.
That's the real story. अब I don't know him. He's not invested through me. He's invested through somebody in Agra. But actually he did it. So ये जो यहाँ पे लोग सुनने आए हो, कुछ एग्जीक्यूशन करोगे तो कुछ फायदा होगा।
2 दिन पहले मैं बैंगलोर में ट्रैवल कर रहा था, जो SIP इन्होंने बात करी, मुझे एक स्टोरी याद है, रिसेंट की बात है, मतलब लास्ट वीक में बैंगलोर में था। तो टैक्सी में बैठा हुआ था मैं, मेरा कलीग, हम बातें कर रहे थे म्यूचुअल फंड, हम दोनों कलीग, और क्या बात करोगे आप, मार्केट ये वो बंदा सुन रहा था। वो मुझे बोलता है कि सर ये SIP और SWP ये दोनों में अच्छा क्या होता है? तो मैं उसको बोला क्यों? बोला नहीं सर मेरे को ना किसी ने बोला कि SIP अच्छा होता है बट SWP भी अच्छा होता है।
ओके।
तो मैंने उसको बोला कि आप इन्वेस्ट करते हो? बोला हाँ मैं करता हूँ। कैसे करते हो? सर वो एक ऐप, आजकल इतने सारे फिनटेक ऐप हैं, उस ऐप पे उसने इन्वेस्ट किया। नाउ मेरा पॉइंट, SIP करता है उस ऐप पे, और मैं पूछा किस फंड में करते हो? तो उसने जिस फंड का नाम लिया वो पिछले 1 साल में 100% रिटर्न दिया था। मैंने बोला क्यों आपने इसमें किया? तो बोला क्योंकि सर इसका रिटर्न सबसे ऊपर दिख रहा था। नाउ देयर आर 2 stories to it. One, the fact that digital platform could bring investor who probably could not have come to our industry.
That is a big positive.
That's positive. Negative ये है कि he is buying something purely based on performance. So every story that we see today, you have got positive and negative. While SIP is growing at a fast pace, it's whether it's being done in the right way, and whether we need to do something about it, something that we still need to answer.
It's a completely different side to the story, but it's a great insight.
बढ़िया।
I think with that, I mean, we're up with the time anyway, which is, I think, आपने बहुत अच्छा insight दिया. I was actually going to ask for, a very practical example to the whole thing. I think वो तो natural flow में, the fluid motion, I think, it just came out. I think I just thank you for all your time today. It's beautiful. I think a lot of things for Gen Z to learn from, a lot of things for the other audiences to learn from all these great insights. I think, यही तो पूरा बात था ना सर, जो पिछले 1 घंटे में जब when we started, we said कि we're going to learn from your experiences. And there's been a lot of experiences that you've shared. कुछ मेरे को तो ऐसे कहीं, I don't know, we'll leave it to the readers, ऐसा कोई कहीं ज्ञान था नहीं. Great to know that you guys also make mistakes. Despite of being in the industry for 20 years, you are still human beings. contrary to what एक generic perception बन जाता है कि इन्होंने तो कभी mistake किया ही नहीं होगा, इनका तो सब अच्छा ही गया होगा.
या और कोई एडवाइजर नहीं चाहिए, खुद से मैनेज कर लेंगे.
हाँ, advisor नहीं चाहिए. I want to, when you talk about advisor, there's one question that I was just thinking whether should I ask or not, पर अभी आपने क्यों दे दिया तो I just ask it. Because क्या होता है कि especially when it comes to advice, it is very hard to decipher, see, on the basis ki, let's say, quantifying the value. I'm just trying to put some words to what I'm thinking. Is कि एक platform भी उसको same advice दे रहा है, या let's not take platform, let's take a influencer. ठीक है, वो registered नहीं है, उसको कोई आपसे लेना देना नहीं है, वो भी सेम चीज बोल रहा है. और जब यहाँ पे एक एडवाइजर आता है, उस the wallet gets pitched a bit. Now he wants to know कि उससे better क्या हो सकता है. No, I mean, for him to find that value, unfortunately in our industry जब हम बात करते हैं तो जैसे सर आपने बोला कि वो value 8-9 साल के बाद उसको दिखा कि मेरा 50 लाख रुपया बन गया. Just a normal conversation. For a generation that is so value conscious in one go, like, okay, I take the risk of not having dinner some days. Is when I talk about my wife, she says कि she's able to find the difference between Michael Kors का bag and Louis Vuitton का bag in terms of value. एक 10,500 का है, दूसरा 15,000 का है, इस दोनों में difference. Me being on the outside, as long as you are happy, I'm getting dinner.
Yes.
I am okay. Right?
Right.
25,000 और 30,000 या 10,000 या 15,000 के बैग में we are not able to find. This is what a lot of questions are coming in कि आप भी वही बोल रहे हो, यहाँ पे मेरे को पे करके भी वही सुनने में मिल रहा है. तो मैं अगर पे कर रहा हूँ ना, तो मेरे को कुछ और बोलो. वो कुछ और is what I want to address right now, and how do we get to it?
Basically क्या है ना कि influencers जो आजकल का ट्रेंड चल रहा है इंस्टा पे, and इंस्टा इज अगेन अ वेरी ग्रेट प्लेटफॉर्म. और वो प्लेटफॉर्म से आप क्या लेते हो किसी भी चीज़ से, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. सो इन्फ्लुएंसर्स, आज यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि whose advice would you like to listen. जब हम लोग का पुराना ज़माना था ना, तो हमारे जॉइंट फैमिलीज हुआ करती थी, और घर का एक जो बड़े होते थे, या somebody who was a decision maker used to take decision for the entire family. Okay? और उसके डिसीजन में ज़्यादा प्लस माइनस नहीं होता था, क्योंकि somebody is knowledgeable, वो सब करता है. तो क्या था, what were the attributes of that person? He was family का था, and trusted था. He was knowledgeable. He may have made some mistakes, but still his objective to advise you was to take care of your well-being.
Correct.
Now, similarly, can you relate a influencer? आपके लिए वो is he thinking about your well-being? Okay. Compare that with an advisor. Advisor का income is linked to the growth of you. Correct. So मेरा income is directly linked to the growth of my investor. So I am going to be objectively, professionally बोलो कि जिस तरह से भी बोलो, emotionally, I'll be connected to with him कि I should grow his money. Okay. So that objective is there, which is a disconnect between an influencer और वो, क्योंकि he or she is going to be driven by the sponsorship or the advertisements that he or she is going to get. So that's the big disconnect. Second thing is the skill set. So हम लोग ने जो पहले बात किया, so influencer का skill set कितना है ABCD चीज को समझने का, चाहे वो क्रिप्टो हो, चाहे म्यूचुअल फंड हो, चाहे स्टॉक्स हो, उसका how much skill sets he or she has. And most important part is what is the credibility. So the difference between two professionals is the credibility. Okay, how confidently somebody is able to navigate through the ups and downs of the market. वो credibility अगर if you are able to generate through influencer, तो भी that is fine. But you उनको इंस्टा पे या कहीं पे भी सोशल मीडिया पे, you need to understand this thing and distill what is good for you.
while Raju shared his experience, because he has been doing it for last 24, 25 years, so I'm sure, he shared a very right perspective. I'll just put it slightly different, I'll look at wealth and health from same context.
Super.
Now,
Brilliant.
imagine, if I go to Google and I'm suffering from some disease, I Google it and there is advice comes from that Google saying, you do this. Will you do it? If not, why do it for finance? Why you think it's so less important for you? Health and wealth both are equally important. That's first part. If you can't do it for your health, today how many of us go and Google it and get it? None of us.
No.
But then why we do this in our investing? Second part, the investing is all about emotions.
Yes.
What Raju is doing is basically investing in your emotions. Every time you feel low, you feel mera paisa gir gaya, you are in panic, he'll come and guide you.
Yeah.
No influencers will come and guide you
When the markets are down.
when markets are down. They'll come when markets are great. A lot of them, with all due respect, they'll not even be there when market will fall.
They need guidance.
So they'll not come to you.
Ah.
They will come to you when things are great, when markets are doing great. When you are doing great, you will keep on going back to them. And I'm not trying to paint all of them, but I'm just saying there are few good people out there. They are giving right advice, but it's difficult to filter out. You take their input, but at the end of the day, when you have so much information, you need someone. And I'll just conclude this part, which I strongly believe in. I met a guy, from US. He had come to India long back. That time I was part of previous company, and so I just randomly, spoke to him, and he was HNI. So I told him, how do investing happens in your country?
Okay.
Whether you take advice from some banker, some wealth manager, you have got some distributor. How do we do it? And he said something which I'll never forget. He said, I have got one person in my life. My wife has got that number of that person. If anything happens to me, my wife has to only call that one person. Is that one person you?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That is the way.
There is no
No other way.
other way to do it, If you can give one number to your wife that anything happens to me, any financial need, this person is there. If someone can do it, you should blindly follow it. Forget that one paisa, X paisa, additional direct, whatever. There's no value.
There are no free lunches in life.
There's no free lunch.
This is the great benefit of interviewing stalwarts. आपको conclusion खुद design ही नहीं करना पड़ता. Conclusion already होता है. Like you rightly said, all you need is that one person. So अभी, to all our listeners, you don't really need to bother too much about कि मेरे को पैसा कहाँ डालना है, क्या करना है. Just find that one person. It's a difficult day in your age because you are Gen Z, and of course, one person is. So let's not get okay. But yes, I think just get that one person, let that one person handle the money for you, and make sure you stay with that person. You understand, and you want your financial advisor to basically fight for you. आप जब भी इमोशनली डाउन होते हो, आप वीक होते हो, you want somebody to lift you up, you want somebody to fight it out with you, you want somebody to be there like an elder brother, like a father figure, like a mother figure, to be with you all the time and tell you this is what you need to do and this is what you don't need to do. I think with that, thank you so much for your wonderful time. I think we exceeded 1 hour. Usually हमारा तो channel पे होता ही है. I think Thinkly folks are now very well aware of it. We are very exceeding is a part of what we call the Indian stretchable time for us. But thank you so much for your time. It's great having you. And really, Manish sir, if you can just कभी आपका वापस कभी busy schedule में से ऐसे time निकल सके, we'd just like to have a chat with our listeners once again.
So thank you, Jinay. Thank you. I think you have made it very, lively and very engaging. It's not easy for someone to sit in that chair and make it so simple. So you have made our life so simple because you made it very, very simple. We never felt like we are in some that interview mode. So thank you. You have done it so well, and thank you, Raju. I think your insights will, I'm sure, when audience will listen to it, and whatever people who are live, they'll gain a lot of insights, and I'm sure if we can at least give few points that they can carry forward in their financial life, their investing life, probably we have succeeded in our job today.
Thank you. I would like to thank Jinay for everything. He is the key person in this. I would like to also thank Thinkly for all the efforts. And yes, most importantly, I would like to thank Manish for his invaluable time.
And if I just have to speak one statement about Raju sir is that you are like that sun in the solar system. If Pluto is shining bright, the reason is the light is coming from you. So अगर आप मनीष सर मेरे को compliment करते हैं, it is because you have been that powerful force for me all through the last 10 years. आगे भी रहना,
Yes.
which is what we want.
वो तो छोड़ने वाला नहीं मुझे.
Sure. With that, let's call it a wrap today. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for your time.
everyone.
Good day.
Thank you. Good day.